So I'd like to start by welcoming everyone to the 2020 St. Thomas Boys Soccer Banquet. Sorry, of course, I have it. Welcome to the 2020 Boys Soccer Awards ceremony, thanks to COVID-19. I would like to thank all the parents and let you know how much fun and challenging it is for us coaches to spend the afternoon with your sons. I'm also sorry that you can't be here with us to share in this, so we're filming it for you. Hopefully it won't take that much editing to put it online. This is a hard time for me and the rest of the coaching staff. We look forward to the start of the season with so many possibilities. We watch the players work hard and come together as a team. Sometimes it takes a little longer than it should. Even though it is a lot of work, it's a lot of fun. And then it's over too soon. We get to spend 3 months with your sons. We get to watch them change and grow as people. We see them learn through practice and experience, and not always just about soccer. Sometimes it's knowing that they stayed up late studying for a test so they might not be at their best. Sometimes we watch them make hard life decisions, like whether to go to practice or driver's ed. Sometimes it's seeing them with a girl in the parking lot and wondering if they're going to be at their best or their worst because of it. We get to listen to interesting conversations at practice, like what are the best songs or movies, who they think the hot girls in school are. There is never a dull moment, and as coaches we are always challenged. There is nothing more rewarding than seeing them finally do something in a game that you've been working on in practice for weeks. They score a goal, just like you told them to, sometimes 32 seconds after a kickoff. I'd like to first thank my assistant coaches for all their help this season. My team fitness and conditioning coach for the past 6 years, Celeste. And my goalie and JV coach, Dave Salvation, for 16 years. I also did here, I'd like to thank the following students who were inducted in the National Honor Society this year. Marcus Broom, Nels Miller, Max Ford, Sam Franzen, Chris Gerson, Jack LaFuture, Jack Simmis, and Vinny Simonelli. Congratulations, guys. I would also like to announce that this year's 2020 St. Thomas Boys Varsity team won a prestigious United Soccer Coaches Gold Sportsmanship Award, the second highest award they give for sportsmanship. This is the first gold award won by a boys team. We can add that to 3 silvers and 1 bronze. 3 years ago, Coach Salvation was awarded the Division II Assistant Coach of the Year by the New Hampshire Soccer Coaches Association. Last year, we recognized Coach Salvation for 15 years as an assistant coach for St. Thomas Boys Soccer. Coach Salvation has also spent 3 years as the Newmarket Boys Varsity Coach, 1 year as the Dover High School Girls Varsity Coach, and 2 years as the St. Thomas Girls Varsity Coach. This year he gave us a scare by adding another challenge to his coaching by taking on cancer along with all the other unique things this season brought. We are lucky to have him, and I do not know what I'd do without him. He's a tremendous asset to our program. I'd like to ask Coach Salvation to come and talk about the JV team.
Well, as we know, we had some challenges. The next challenge is coming. So, if you haven't heard, January 7th, I go to Elliott Hospital, find out when I'm going to be taking my radioactive iodine. And with that said, I'll be locked up in a Whitingham room, bouncing off the walls for a few days. I will be hazardous to other individuals, including you guys. So that's why I can't be near you guys. I'll be taking 1 horse pill that's 5 times the amount of usually it's supposed to be taking. This is just to kill the cancer. With that said, gentlemen, I will be back. My voice might not be here. I might be bald. Such is life. I do have 1 heck of a great start. And just remember, gentlemen, come the fall time, I'm going to use a magic mark for stitches. My girlfriend's going to do it. It's going to kill me. Right now, I'm gonna give some awards before my voice gives out. I just want to recognize our three captains, Max Ward, Jack Latour, and Jack Hawkins. Please stand up. This is Nick here. Nick's not here. All right, most improved player was Nicholas the Bomber. This is not here, so make sure you razz him for sure. JV Unsung Hero award goes to Kyle Lindemann.
Bring it back.
Our JV Offensive Player Award goes to, believe it or not, he's not here, Stephen Baldo. Is Carson here?
He's at basketball.
Carson was selected as a JV Defensive Player of the Year.
And I'm going to call off the certificates for Dave since his voice is going. Following JV players, Kyle Brindamore, come on up.
Bring it back. Come on up.
Is Owen Hawkins here?
No.
Jack Hawkins?
No.
Nicholas DePomero? Jackie Kuchar?
No.
Cam Logan?
Oh, I saw him in the bathroom. There he is. Taking a piss. I mean,
Nicholas Southern? Connor St. George?
yeah. Shut me down all over.
Okay, every team is different. Every season has its unique challenges. Sometimes you have lots of bad weather. Sometimes you have lots of injuries. Sometimes you have outside issues. And sometimes you have to worry about a virus. The true measure of each team is how they handle these challenges. I have found that you cannot take a coaching style and force it on a team and make them conform. You need to see the different strengths that each individual brings and offers and adjust and use them wisely. This was a very skilled team and a great group of players. They did not get easy bounces along the way. We had an extremely hard regional schedule for a Division III team. We only played one of our games against a Division III team. But like the old saying goes, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Soccer is the only sport in high school where players are actually playing for 80 to 100 minutes. There are no timeouts. No other sport plays for this amount of time. Recovery time is very important. And for another year, weather forced us to play back-to-back games in less than 24 hours. The most impressive thing was this team did not quit. Different players stepped up at unique moments to make great saves, goal-line blocks, or steals. There were beautiful combination passes that led to amazing goals. When the regular season ended, it was a great accomplishment to be back in the playoffs for the 13th time in 15 years. To win a home playoff game for the first time in 8 years. A against the team that we had lost to during the season, and also to do it in such an exciting fashion. I'd like to recognize each member of the varsity team. Players are awarded a letter for their first varsity sport and a soccer ball pin. Some players may already have a letter and just get the pin. Second, third, and fourth year players are awarded a bar to put under the pin on the letter. The following players were swing players. They were added players who were asked to practice and play with the varsity team or the JV team as needed. As a coach, it is greatly appreciated when players are willing to accept the roles to help the team. Sometimes it's not so fun to sit as a backup on the varsity bench for just a few minutes of playing time when they could have been playing the whole JV game. Just giving starters a few-minute break can mean the difference in a tight game. These players saw enough time on the field to earn varsity letters. Freshman Carson Cooper's-Waite earns a letter and a pin for his first varsity season. Freshman Sam Nolan earns a letter and a pin for his first varsity season. Yeah. Come on, Sam. Freshman Declan Healy earns a letter and a pin for his first varsity season.
I think he's gone. Stupid Declan.
If you look at the bottom of the homepage for Go STA Soccer, you will notice that we have flags from all the countries where players come from. At the beginning of the year, they told me I was getting another exchange student. I usually don't get too excited about exchange students because sometimes we get the Italian who plays basketball or the one Brazilian who comes to New Hampshire to ski and has never played soccer before. This time, though, we get some good players who find their niche. This year, we added our 8th different flag, Germany. I'd like to present Nicholas de Pomeroy with a plaque for being the first player from Germany to play for St. Thomas. He's French, but he lives in Germany.
Oh, field hockey player.
All right, this freshman came to us this year and stood out right away with his speed. He earned Offensive Player of the Game honors once this season. He scored his first varsity career goal in the first game on the new turf field to open the season. He was also credited with one more assist during the year. He will be an asset to the team as his game matures and he develops an experience. Freshman Owen Simmons earns a letter of intent. This player has a very solid skill set for a freshman. Because of this, he was used as a utility player to fill spots on the field whenever we needed him. He earned Defensive Player of the Game honors once and Offensive Player of the Game honors once. His first career varsity goal was the second varsity goal scored on our new turf field. It was also the first game-winning goal that gave the boys soccer team the first win out of any team on our new field. It's great to see a freshman contribute so much to the program. Freshman Ryan Whitingham.
Ryan!
As a freshman, this player scored his first varsity goal. This year, as a swing player, he saw a little more varsity time. He has good size and speed, and he is a lefty, which gives him a great advantage for making crosses from that side of the field. Sophomore Stephen Baudo earns a bar for his second varsity season. As a swing player last year, this player played mostly JV. This year he developed enough to become a varsity utility player. He was used to fill in on the outside of the central midfield to spell starters. His skill level improved greatly throughout the season. Sophomore Nate Levine earns a bar for his second varsity. While soccer is not this player's primary sport, he is an athlete and able to use his skills and abilities to good use. His size and strength make him a natural defender, especially during set pieces. He plays just as hard in practice as he does in the game. He was an integral part of a young defense that will only get stronger next season. He earned Defensive Player of the Game honors once this year. Sophomore Max Murray earns a Varsity. This was another player who was a swing player last year playing JV. He developed a lot over the summer, and from his effort he put in, earned a starting spot on varsity this season. He had strong skills and ability to see the field, moved well to transition from attack to defending. He was asked to play as a holding midfielder, which means he must contain himself from getting too caught up the field when he's on the attack. This is something that goes against everyone's instinct, yet he did it very well. Learning to hold his ground. He earned Defensive Player of the Game honors once this season. Sophomore Ericon earns a bar for the second place. We usually don't have too many freshmen playing regularly on the varsity. We hardly ever have one who starts. This player scored a goal and recorded an assist and won Player of the Game honors, and also was the 2019 Rookie of the Year as a freshman. This year he scored 2 goals and got 2 assists, giving him 3 goals and 3 assists so far. This season he earned Offensive Player of the Game honors twice. His work ethic and practice is first rate, and his skill is impressive. I expect to see a lot more of him as his game grows in the years to come. Sophomore Rory Hatch earns a bar for his second place.
Where is he?
Oh, he definitely
Right. This player had some large cleats to fill from last year. He worked hard over the summer to improve his skills. He shared duty with an upperclassman when they made it extremely hard to choose between them. He earned Defensive Player of the Game honors once this season. He really made his presence known during the shootout against Bishop Brady when he made a save to keep us in the lead. If he was nervous, he didn't show it. He looked cool under pressure. He recorded 32 saves in net this season. Sophomore Chris Geisler As a freshman, this player played JV and then was a swing player as a sophomore. This season, he earned a starting spot on varsity. Worked well as one of the 2 key players in the center of our defense. His communication skills were an asset. It was tough to lose him halfway through the season to an ending injury. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do next year and hope he can play in all our games. Junior Dan Tangway earned a bar for the second match. This player was a swing player last year and earned more playing time this season. He was the captain of the JV team this season, but still practiced with the varsity. He added depth to the team when the JV did not have a game at the same time. He kept up everyone's morale when things were tough. He has a great attitude and is well liked by everyone. Junior Max Ford.
Real good. Real good.
This player was another surprise this year. He gave us competition a very tough but important position. He's a very solid player and developed a lot during a short season. He earned Defensive Player of the Game honors once this season. He recorded 24 saves in net. Junior Liam Lena earns a letter and a pin for his first varsity season.
He's got basketball. He's on.
I don't know, good. Something real fishy.
This player played JV as a freshman.
Yeah.
Last year as a sophomore, he earned a varsity roster spot because of his size and skill. He played as a defender and outside midfielder at Spell Stars. It was a spot role, but he improved with every week. This year he earned a starting spot and was the anchor of our young defense. He won Defensive Player of the Game honors 3 times this season. Junior Jack Simmons earned the Varsity. This player keeps insisting he's a midfielder, but he plays defender like a natural. He has speed and tenacity to defend the outside of the field. He is used as both an outside midfielder and outside defender. He has good physical presence on the outside. He earned Defensive Player of the Game honors twice as a sophomore and twice this season. He has 3 assists as a sophomore and 1 assist this season. Junior 8 Nels Miller earns a bar for the second.
COVID elbows.
This next player uses his sense of field and his passing skills to compensate for his size. He did win us a few of those small player sympathy calls from the ref when he got pushed off the wall. While he's not the fastest player on the team with his foot speed, he is one of the fastest with his give and go sense. He moved well without the ball, creating space. He's a very smart player and sees the entire field. He earned Offensive Player of the Game honors once as a sophomore, was the 2019 12th Player Award winner. He won Offensive Player of the Game honors twice this season. Junior Sam Fransona as a bar.
With the camera too.
This player was one of those surprise players who you do not expect or plan on. They come out for the team looking to play with their friends. What he lacked in soccer finesse, he made up for in determination and desire. He was always willing to do what was ever asked of him. His positive attitude was contagious, and even though he was not elected captain, the other players look up to him as if he was one. Last season, his older brother and younger brother played together. This season, he kept us up with a brother duo. Senior Joey Broomer and 11. This third-year varsity player made the team as a freshman. He had skill and enough size to play at the varsity level. He developed quickly into a player that was good on the attack as well as the defense. He had a good sense of field and knew where to be. He had the speed to get there. Most importantly, he was a very coachable player, always looking to learn. He earned Offensive Player of the Game honors twice as a freshman, 3 times as a sophomore, and 3 times this year. He scored 3 goals and got 1 assist as a freshman, 3 goals and 4 assists as a sophomore, and 3 goals and 1 assist this season, giving a career total of 24 points so far. He was the 2019 Players' Choice Award winner and the 2019 Silver Boot winner. Of course, I'm sure both his older brothers will take all the credit for anything good he does, but I really enjoyed watching the Brooms play together for a 3rd year. One of the very few underclassmen to ever be elected captain, Junior Captain Marcus Broomer. As a freshman, this player stepped into a role when we lost a few players for an extended period. We needed some depth, and he stepped up. He was able to sub in at both defense and midfield to spell starters. He quickly developed varsity speed and decision-making on the run. As a sophomore, he earned a starting spot. He played both defense and midfield. His passing was spot on. He got 1 assist as a freshman, 1 goal as a sophomore, and 1 goal and 2 assists this season. He won the 2019 Most Improved Player Award. He won Player of the Game honors twice as a sophomore and 3 times this season. I have to say our offense works best when it works through him. Another one of the very few underclassmen to ever be elected captain, Junior Captain Simon. This player was a swing player as a freshman. As a sophomore, he came off the bench to help where needed. At the end of that season, he was the 2018 Rookie of the Year. He earned a starting spot as a junior with his skill. He quickly became a key player. He scored 6 goals and 1 assist as a sophomore, 2 goals and 2 assists as a junior. And this season, he scored 3 goals and 2 assists to bring his career total to 27 points. He earned Player of the Game honors once as a sophomore, once as a junior, and 3 times this season. He has great soccer skill and can react quick. He has great passion for the game. Fortunately for us, he's willing to control that passion in a good way and use it to benefit the team rather than just react without thinking like last year. Senior Captain Ben Stone sends the bar. For the next 2 awards, I think it's appropriate to ask the all-time leading scorer to come and present them since he's here. Coach Ross leads St. Thomas with a total of 32 goals, 32 assists for 96 career points. Just to put that into perspective, we only scored 12 goals this entire season, even though as short as it was.
What's up, guys? Thanks for dressing up. I'd like to first start with the Golden Boot, which is the award presented to the player with the most goals during the season. Scoring goals is a challenge for us this year. We had a lot of smart soccer players, but we lacked a natural goal scorer. With our games being cut in half and the schedule getting altered, there was a lot less opportunities for goals, which left this award wide open. This ended up being a tie between 2 players who offered very different skill sets. I would consider Marcus our most dangerous player. Our best scoring chances come when we use his speed down the sideline, giving him opportunities to attack the net or send balls into the box. While he won Silver Boot last year because he's a very smart and unselfish player, sometimes it was better for the team for him to go to goal himself. Our pink game is always the most fun game of the year for the players and the coaches. Despite being a superior team, we had a hard time in the beginning generating much offense that resulted in scoring chances. Marcus basically took this game over, scoring a hat trick and taking the pressure off us, which allowed us in the second half to play more guys and have more fun. It was a very impressive individual effort that allowed him to earn this award despite being a fast-first player. Ben, on the other hand, was our most crafty player. He was the guy who could make something out of nothing when the play broke down. This allowed him to give us more scoring opportunities when our possession or build-up came to a halt. The fact that we made him play defense for most of the year shows the scoring potential he had. He proved to be very clutch for us, scoring our only 2 playoff goals, as well as a PK in the amazing shootout win against Bishop Brady. Not bad for a defender. His best goal came in the quarterfinals. We're down 1-0 at halftime to a team that we feel we're much better than, and he was really struggling. Most likely picturing his high school career coming to an end, he had mentally checked out. We had a conversation at halftime to try to rally him and let him and the boys know we weren't going to give up. Well, 20 seconds in the second half, he scored and gave us the juice we needed. Unfortunately, we know what happened in the end of that game, but the moment was something I was very proud of because he could either choose to give up and let his career come to an end, or do something about it and go out swinging, and that's what he did. And while they don't get counted as goals on the stat sheet, it's fitting that both Marcus and Ben scored the first 2 goals in the shootout, which put all that pressure on Brady. That shootout win to advance in the playoffs has to be one of my all-time favorite coaching memories, and I won't forget how good it felt to celebrate with you guys. With 3 goals in the season, I'm honored to present this year's co-Golden Boot Award winners to Marcus Broom and Ben Stillness. The next award is the Silver Boot, which is awarded to the player with the most assists during the season. This award is more meaningful to me because it requires a level of unselfishness and is much less glamorous than scoring. Again, due to the lack of goals scored, there wasn't a ton of assists. While the number itself isn't impressive from a statistical standpoint, the way this player plays the game makes it no surprise that he came away with the award. This player is one of the smartest high school soccer players I've ever seen or coached, and that is with a lot of years of soccer experience. Seeing the game a different way than everyone else allowed him to consistently make the right decision, which oftentimes would put him or his teammates in positions to score. There would also be many times he wouldn't get the assist directly, but the goal would come because of the play he started. He also competes at a high level and never makes excuses despite constantly getting beat up by opponents and not getting any calls. With his advanced soccer IQ and high skill level, I'm excited to see what this player turns into as he develops even more and, in my opinion, becomes an all-state caliber player. I'm honored to present this year's Silver Boot Award to my #1 pick in any pickup draft, Stan Franson.
This next award is the Player's Choice Award. This is a team award chosen by the vote from the players. The only criteria I give them when they take this vote is to vote for the player that you feel made your season better by being on the team. It could be for any reason. This year's Player's Choice Award goes to a player that everyone looked up to for his skill with the ball and his passion for the game. He put a lot of effort into this season to improve over last year. Congratulations to Ben Stone.
Thank you guys.
I'm
Appreciate
going to
it.
have Ross do the next award.
So the next award is the Most Improved Player Award. I always ask to kind of present this award as well because it's a meaningful award to me. No one really thinks about it as something they want to win, but it shows a level of commitment and improvement to your game, and it's just something that I feel strongly about. So this is presented to the player who made the biggest improvement from last year to this year. This isn't a flashy award from a player's perspective, but it's an award that is very important from a coach's perspective. This year's winner was someone who last season was a freshman who got very few minutes in varsity games, usually just to spell somebody on the outside for a short rest. Fast forward to this season, and this sophomore is now playing almost every minute of every game at one of the most important positions. This player was part of our triangle in the middle due to his soccer IQ, team-first mentality, and fitness level. He didn't mind being the one of the three to play more defensively because it was for the better part of the team. He was also the only one who would never admit if he ever needed a break. He enjoyed to compete and wouldn't shy away from contact, which I can't say about a lot of the guys. He also has been extremely coachable and does whatever the coach asks without ever batting an eye. I'm excited to see this player continue to evolve in the next few years and think he could become one of the better midfielders in the league. I'm honored to announce this year's Most Improved Player Award to Ericon.
The Rookie of the Year. This award is given to a first-year varsity player who makes the biggest impact on the team. There aren't too many first-year players that earn themselves a starting position. There aren't too many freshmen who start either. 5 years ago, our Rookie of the Year winner was drafted by the Baltimore Orioles. This year, our award winner is set more on soccer than baseball. His skill set and work ethic show it. He scored the first goal of the season and the first boys' goal in the turf field. Rookie of the Year for 2019 is Owen Sims.
The future.
The Sportsmanship Award. This award is important to me because sportsmanship is what makes any good athlete a great athlete. It makes a good team a great one. Each year, one of my goals is to get through the season without getting any cards and win a Platinum Sportsmanship Award. Didn't quite make it this year. Ignoring referees is something we'll work harder on next year. I also wanted this award to be earned and not just chosen by the coaches. So before every game, we ask the referees to vote for 2 players who they feel exhibited the most sportsmanship during the game. So this award is earned by play and action on the field during the game and decided on by the game officials. This year's Sportsmanship Award goes to Nels Miller and Sam Francis. He's going to ask for us to do the next award.
Here's the
All right, the 12th Player Award. This award is presented each year to recognize the contributions of a player who makes the team better by his efforts in practice and during the game. A player who comes off the bench and makes an immediate impact to the game, or starts when someone is missing. Someone who gives his all to the team and mostly goes unnoticed. Someone who works tirelessly without thanks. Someone who never complains. He doesn't get noticed like other players. When opposing coaches talk about our team, they overlook it. He might have been a first-time starter on any other team, but when he subs in for us, there's no drop in skill level. He's willing to play any and all positions. He wants to be on the field helping in any way he can. This year's 12th Player Award goes to Ryan Whitingham.
Ryan.
5 seasons ago, we changed the Unsung Hero Award and named it in memory of Coach Salvation's son, David. Even though David played for Whitingham, several former St. Thomas players played with him at Sacred Heart School, my son Jason included. For all Coach Salvation has done for me and for the St. Thomas program, I would like to make sure we remember David to start every season. We put him on the team t-shirt, and we honor him at the end of every season with our banquet by awarding one of our players with the David the Beast Salvation Unsung Hero Award. Coach Salvation will present this.
You guys need goalies.
As Coach Celeste mentioned, it's in honor of my son. Bring up the game of soccer. He also loved his friends even more so, just to play the game of soccer. He was a goalie, so as we know, goalies tend to be the last line of defense. But this year, our winner for the Unsung Beast Award, the well deserved, is Jackson.
The Offensive Player of the Year Award. This is the player who has all the traits that not only make a good soccer player, but a great team player. It's always a hard choice, but each year there's always been a few players who rise above all the others. The player who makes his teammates better is one of the cogs that holds the team together. The team would not have been the same without him. Everyone looks up to him. He's extremely fast. He has a career total of 9 goals and 6 assists for 24 points. His almost equal number of goals and assists shows he knows when to shoot and when to pass. It's not just his ability to score, but his skill and leadership and the example he sets that earns him this award. By winning this award, he follows in his brother's footsteps. This year's 2019 Boys Varsity Offensive Soccer Player of the Year is Marcus Brogan. The Coach's Award is an award given to a player who is not only an asset to the team, but to the coach as well. He always helps in practice. This award goes to an exceptionally good player and one who has learned to be humble. His attitude is always positive. He always seems to give more than 100%. He works to make his teammates better. When he's in the game, he's a fierce competitor and deeply passionate player. He does a lot of amazing things. When we lose, he's the one that takes it the hardest. Even when he's not in the game, he makes his presence known from the sidelines. He has 2 goals and 3 assists to his credit. If we gave out second assists like they do in hockey, his numbers would be a lot higher. Without him, the team would not have been the same. Through his play, attitude, and input, he left a mark on this year's team. I've watched him mature over the last 3 years into a leader, someone I could consult with. someone whose input I value, and I cannot wait to see what he does next year. This year's Coach's Award goes to Vinny Simon. In April of 2017, we lost an alumni member and a past captain of our team, a friend, a brother, and a son. We named the Defensive Player of the Year in memory of Jason Celeste, class of 2007. In 2003, Jason started for the JV team as a freshman when we had a freshman team. He was only 3 or 4 freshmen that were selected for the JV team. He started over sophomores and juniors. His sophomore year, he started playing JV, and after the Varsity lost their first 4 games, he was brought up to shore up their defense. He sat on the bench for the first 10 minutes of that 5th game. It was the only time he was ever off the field. After they gave up 2 quick goals, Jason was sent in. For the next 3 seasons, he played in 48 games, never once coming off the field. At the start of his senior year, he was elected as a captain. At the end of his senior year, he was selected by the New Hampshire Class I coaches as an all-state defender. He was also selected to the Foster's Dream Team of Seacoast area high school soccer players. From the Foster's newspaper, Celeste was the Iron Man for the Saints this season, never missing a minute of play. His ability to cover the field and opponent's best scorers stumped coaches league wide. He was able to neutralize the best scorers on each team they faced. Jason was also the Silver Boot winner his senior year, an NSCHA and NHIAA scholar athlete, and a member of the first team to win an NSCAA high school team academic award. He loved the game, but was super competitive and he hated to lose. Defenders rarely get their name in papers. They don't build up impressive stats and points. It's not a flashy position like a striker, but defense is more important than offense. Even if you can't score, a good defense can get you a tie. This player, if he made a mistake, which was very rarely, bounced right back. If he did something amazing, he acted like it was his job. I cannot tell you exactly how many times this player has stopped a short goal, keeping us in the game by chasing an attacker down. But I can remember the elation of quite a few. I hope he continues to improve as much as he did from last year to this year. This year's 2019 Jason Celeste Memorial Defensive Player of the Year is Ben Stokes. The Division III coaches voted for all state honors during the last 2 weeks of the season. Please understand that this year only 24 players were selected for first team and then second team, and then 20 honorable mentions were given based on voting. Of the 24 teams in Division III, there are about 500 players. From those, only 48 players are chosen. It's an honor than it is to be told by other opposing coaches that you are one of the top 10 players, top 10% of the players in the state. This year, the New Hampshire Soccer Coaches Association selected Vinny Simon as first team midfielder. Marcus Broom as second team midfielder. Ben Thomas is honorable mention. They'll be mailing out certificates of the athletic department. You guys can get that. Also, this time for the 11th time in our 39-year history, we've had a player win the United Soccer Coaches Senior Excellence Award. You have to be a high school senior, make a significant contribution to your team, represent the finest attributes of a team player, consistently project a positive attitude, display team leadership, and exemplify the standards set forth in the USC Player Code of Conduct and Ethics. This year, the United Soccer Coaches presents the Senior Excellence Award to Joey Broom.
My part's usually done by now, but this year is a little bit different. So this year has been extremely weird, not just for you guys, but for us coaches too. We were very limited in what we could do at times, and we had even more challenges and responsibilities than we usually have. Obviously, anything for a season was better than nothing, and we understood that, but we'd be lying if we said this year wasn't very stressful. For you guys, the game of practice is a few hours of your day, but as a coach, especially the head coach, there's so much extra that goes into it, and I get to see it firsthand. Planning practices, setting up and taking down games, buying equipment with his own money, making signs, and going above and beyond for a senior day, banquet, and mostly above and beyond what a normal high school coach is usually willing to do. I cannot state enough of how underappreciated and unnoticed this typically goes. Now don't get me wrong, coach does not do this for any sort of recognition or to be noticed. He does it because he loves the game, he loves the coach, and for some reason he loves coaching you guys. That being said, it doesn't mean it isn't nice to get recognized. And with that, I am honored to present this year's NHIA Division III Coach of the Year to Scott Celeste.
This game is constantly evolving, and as coaches, we're always looking for new ways to learn. This year will be the first ever virtual National Soccer Coaches Convention put on by the United Soccer Coaches. Like everything else this past year, it will be something different than normal. There is an old Italian proverb at the end of the game, the king and the pawn go back in the same box, which means we have just as much chance next year as anyone else. It will all depend on the effort we put in next season. It's been a great season, and you guys have been an amazing team. Your accomplishments are many. I'd like to thank you for your efforts. I'd like to thank your parents for letting us be with you for this time. Thanks for an unforgettable season, guys. To all the seniors, I wish you luck in finishing your last year of high school and beyond. To all the underclassmen, I like to say there's only 242 days until Monday, August 16, 2021, the start of next year's preseason. I'd like to call up the captains this year and have them announce next year's captains.
So we have two new captains next year, and they are Sam Franson and Aiden Elliott.
And Marcus and Vinny.
And we know that, yes. They know.
All right, guys, if we could have all of the Varsity Award winners come up here. Ms. Whitty wants to take a picture of everyone.
The hardware.
Let's do the hardware, guys.
And bring the hardware out.